Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, good afternoon or good evening, good night. It's me, Masandi Permana, and we are here back again doing our task and assignment. So today I was told to react to a video by, of course, our amazing lecturer, and it's a poetry video. Of course, about poetry, I also wrote poetry. I didn't read it, as I told you in my previous video, but I have experience about poetry, especially in English, and I guess I don't know what to say. Yeah, I'm gonna react to this video, as I told, and this video was published in October 12th, 2020, so last year. Oh, not that long ago actually. So, again, about poetry, I rarely watching or listening to someone actually read about poetry, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to critic or anything about this video other than react to it. And of course, let's give it a shot, I guess. And first of all, looking at the thumbnail of the video, it's really eye-catching, really. So there's this really big sign saying that it's at University of Aberdeen, of course in Scotland, and it says "Where's what?" and of course the building behind it is really magnificent. It's an old building, like castle-like building, and of course it's a really old university, as I can tell by just looking at it. But it's really looks good, looks comfortable, looks medieval, almost you felt like you living in a kingdom or something, or a castle again. And yeah, so let's get this started. Here we go. Alright, first of all, I thought this is gonna be a poetry video in English, but turns out it's in Indonesian. Again, I don't have that many experiences on writing something in Indonesian, be it poetry, essay or something, because I usually write everything in English because I feel more comfortable doing that in English. I feel a lot more expressive in English, and of course not many people understand it, so I can really express whatever I want. Even sometimes people don't understand it, because that's actually my goal, is that not a lot of people will understand it. Cheeky. So it's Indonesian. I just read the title actually. It's about going to college in the UK, so it's gonna be interesting. Of course, I haven't got any experience on that behalf, but you don't need experience to react to a video, I guess. So let's get going. The music is really Scottish. I don't know about what is it about Scottish, but the flute sound is really, I don't know, it's like marching band, so it lifts up your spirit, I guess. Okay, so he's talking or writing or reading about him being the recipient or awardee of a scholarship in the UK, of course. See, about Indonesian words, I don't really know how to make Indonesian words sounds fancy or sounds interesting, because to me Indonesian words is just that. I don't know about it, but sometimes it's really hard to make a normal sentence in poetry, but in English you can swap out some words and make it a lot more interesting, make it a lot more beautiful in a way. But in Indonesian, I don't really have any idea of making something that sounds basic becomes interesting, because in Indonesian I don't really know much word about it. In Indonesian, I mean. So yeah, that's the challenge of writing a poetry in Indonesian, to me at least, but it's not to him, of course. Of course, he said that he is actually thankful and grateful of the opportunity given to him. But I guess that it's really is what's supposed to be our feeling if I became one day hopefully an worthy of a scholarship to study abroad. I guess that's what I'm gonna feel, grateful and thankful of something that is given me the experience or the opportunity to do such thing. But that hasn't happened yet, so I don't really know how it feels. But reading this, watching this, it's actually giving me some kind of idea of how people or someone might feel in these opportunities. Sorry about my legs. So yeah, let's continue it. See, again, that's what really interesting about this poem is it's his experience on being in Europe again. So I guess it's not relatable to a lot of people, Indonesian, but I guess this is an opportunity for Indonesians to actually feel or experience through someone else's writing about living in Europe, studying in England, or just being outside of our country.
Panggilanku, mahasiswa internasional. Biaya di sekolahku mahal.
Okay, that's a little bit cheeky there. He's talking about the actual price or cost studying abroad, and he's said that it was quite expensive, and in reality, it's quite true, because of course, I mean, studying Indonesia in my university is quite expensive already. Mind you, it's still small in the huge scale, but still quite expensive for us in Indonesia because, of course, we're not as rich as Europe. But again, yes, studying in Europe is quite expensive, more over in a university as old as Aberdeen.
Tapi tenang, semua dibayar pemerintah. Pantas toh? Kalau aku bersyukur.
Again, he's talking about the amount of gratefulness and thankfulness in him of given the opportunity to study abroad.
Oh dunia, sekarang sudah setengah tahun aku di sini.
So it's recorded at about 6 months after his beginning to study abroad there. So I guess it's not about I don't know, him arriving at the university. It's about actually his experience of 6 months in the university.
Dan statusku menjadi mahasiswa internasional semester 2. Nah, bagian SPP ku.
See, again, about poetry in Indonesian, you can listen, or maybe you don't, but I can listen that the word is really basic. And about the poetry in Indonesian is just the way you deliver that poetry, or not the actual words used itself, but actually the delivery of the readers, or the way of someone read poetry, that actually become the very stressed point of how beautiful a poetry can be. Unlike poetry in English, because in English there's some words that just by listening to it without any other words accompanying it, or not in a sentence, just that word on itself is actually really able to make it sounds beautiful in on itself, not in a sentence. But in Indonesian, even in a sentence, sometimes it doesn't sound pretty, but the way he's reading it is actually making it sounds a little bit a lot more heartful and a lot more meaningful emotionally, and that's what makes it beautiful.
3 kali seminggu. Ya, lebih sering daripada jadwal kuliahku. Tapi tenang, semuanya boleh diutang. Pantas toh kalau aku bersyukur.
See the expression of him, the way he's laughing in the middle of the poetry is actually bringing more and more joyful emotion into the poetry itself rather than the actual word it written. But the emotion that the way he's delivering the poetry is a lot more important than the actual words in the poetry, to me at least.
Oh dunia, sudah 2
Okay.
minggu aku menunggak bayaran kos. Hah? Kartu mahasiswaku tak bisa lagi akses buku. Ditambah bonus denda, terlambat bayar SPP.
So now he's talking about the sad part of studying abroad in the UK, in Aberdeen. So he's talking about the actual cost, the actual inability of him at the time to pay for the cost, and of course the tuition and the books, libraries and stuff. So yeah, don't have any much comment on that.
Tapi tenang, semua masih bisa diutang. Pantas toh? Kalau aku bersyukur.
See, in every poetry there's this line that's keep being repeated. It's called repetition, and in this particular poetry that he's written and read, it's actually about how thankful he is, how grateful he is, and actually that is kind of being the stressing point of the poetry. The message he's trying to deliver is written inside those that sentences of the words he's written, again repeated over and over again to actually make sure that the message he's trying to deliver is accepted or listened by listeners or the readers, and that's a good thing. That's something that a poetry needs to have, or needs to actually trying to do at least.
Oi dunia, sudah 2 minggu masakanku homogen. Ya, seragam, varian sehat, nasi, telur, wortel, wortel, telur, nasi.
He's talking about the meal, of course, in Aberdeen or in any European country. It's really hard to find that the food that resembles or can be accepted to our palates of Asian ordinary.
Begitu terus. Tapi tenang, masih 4 sehat, jiwa sempurna. Enak makan, kadang-kadang enak tidur. Pantas
course.
toh? Oh,
I'm just gonna give a little bit of comment in the editing of the video itself, because to me at least, I'm not trying to criticize or anything, it's just an opinion. To me, the music, again, the Scottish theme music is a little bit too loud, so I can't really hear what he's saying, but it's still hearable, acceptable. Not that I know much about editing videos or something. I'm not gonna even edit this video, I'm just gonna submit it like how it is.
sekarang mahasiswa. Iya, Miss mahasiswa. Mahasiswa internasional sibuk serebutan. Ya, sibuk jadi cleaning 2 kali seminggu. Sibuk jadi bahan eksperimen bayaran. Ya, di lab. Tapi tenang, recehnya cukup Ji untuk beli nasi, telur, wortel. Pantas kan kalau aku bersyukur.
That is massive glasses, by the way. So that is it. That is the end of the video. It's really short video, but I make it long because I react to it. Obviously, it's been 14 minutes. But in fullness, in general, it's really good poetry. But I mean, it's not really lyrical, because of course it's not meant to be lyrical, but it's meaningful nonetheless. It's really good poetry. I'm not gonna criticize about anything that is written there, because again, I'm not at the capacity to actually criticize anything. But in my opinion, it's really good. It's the message, again, it's really firmly delivered to any of the audience. But yeah, I guess it's really good poetry. Again, it's telling about something that we haven't experienced yet, but by just listening to what he's written about and what he's reading just now, it's really given me at least, a really bright idea about how it feels like living in Europe, or at least studying in Europe. It's again really emotional in some way, uh, unrelatable in some way as well. But yeah, in general, it's really good. It's really emotional again. I'm saying that again. So yeah, I think that's what I thought about the video, the poetry in general. Yeah, but that's all I can say. So, good work. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.